You know, in the world of web development, you see tools come and go all the time. Some just fade away. But others manage to thrive, sometimes against all odds. Today, we're diving into the story of one of those survivors, the amazing, resilient PHP framework, CodeIgniter.
Okay, let's get real for a second. If you're a developer, you've been there, right? That feeling of just being totally exhausted from wrestling with these huge, heavy frameworks. The ones that feel like they demand more time setting them up than actually, writing code. It's such a common pain point, and it's the exact problem that CodeIgniter was built to solve. So what is this thing? What's the solution? Well, at its heart, CodeIgniter is this small, nimble framework that still packs a serious punch. Think of it as a breath of fresh air for developers who are just craving simplicity but aren't willing to sacrifice capability to get it.
So, digging in a little deeper, CodeIgniter is a totally free, open-source toolkit. It's written in PHP, and its entire reason for being is to help you build full-featured web applications way faster than if you were just coding everything from scratch. It gives you all these libraries for common tasks and a really simple structure to build on.
Now, its architecture is a huge part of its appeal. It uses the classic Model View Controller pattern, or MVC, to keep your data logic separate from your presentation. But here's the kicker. The key word is loosely. See, unlike a lot of other stricter frameworks, CodeIgniter suggests you use MVC, but it doesn't force it down your throat. That means you get this incredible freedom to use only the parts you need, which is amazing for stuff like quick prototypes or working with older code.
And that whole philosophy of flexibility, of minimalism, it builds right into its core identity. It's actually earned CodeIgniter this reputation of being the anti-framework framework, a tool that's there to help you without ever getting in your way.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. That quote right there, that's from Rasmus Lerdorf, the guy who created the PHP language. So when the inventor of the language itself praises a tool for being the least like a framework, you just know it's doing something fundamentally different, and probably fundamentally right. The difference when you put it next to a typical framework is just stark. Where so many of them are super complex and force you to work a certain way, CodeIgniter is simple and elegant. It gives you exceptional speed because, well, with less code to load and process, your app just runs faster. It's a really welcome change from the sluggish performance that can plague those bigger, more rule-heavy systems.
And if you want to see what small footprint actually means in the real world, get a load of this number. The entire CodeIgniter 4 framework is just a 1.1 megabyte download. That's it. In an age of gigabyte-sized apps, that is just astonishingly lean and efficient.
But honestly, its technical specs are only half the story. The history of CodeIgniter is a real journey, a story about shifting ownership that took it from being this project backed by a corporation to a powerhouse totally driven by its community. So the whole thing kicked off in 2006 with a company called Lab. But by 2013, they realized they needed to pass the torch. After a short period where it was looked after by the British Columbia Institute of Technology, the project finally found its forever home in 2019 with the community-led CodeIgniter Foundation.
But you gotta understand, that transition, it was not a sure thing. Back in 2013, when Lab announced they were looking for a new owner because they didn't have the resources, the entire future of this beloved framework was just up in the air. It could have easily become another one of those abandoned projects we all forget about.
But it didn't fade away. Nope. Instead, the community stepped up. And this is where the story goes from being about uncertainty to being about a full-on revival, one that was fueled completely by the passion of the developers who used and loved the framework.
And that commitment from the community was deeply personal. The long-awaited release of CodeIgniter 4 was actually dedicated to Jim Party. He was the project lead who sadly passed away just a month before the launch. This wasn't just another software release. It was a tribute. It was a testament to the real human passion behind all that code.
So today, the CodeIgniter Foundation brings this incredible stability and a clear path forward. It makes sure development on the framework keeps going. It focuses on really strong built-in security to protect you from common threats. It maintains that crystal clear, comprehensive documentation the framework is famous for. And, most importantly, it nurtures that thriving open-source community that is its lifeblood.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole story? I think it's about the enduring legacy of CodeIgniter's core idea, which is honestly bigger than just one framework.
The success of CodeIgniter is this powerful reminder that in technology, real power doesn't have to come from complexity.
So often, the most effective tools are the ones that are simple, elegant, and just get out of your way so you can do your best work.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As all of our digital tools get more and more complex, more demanding, maybe the most innovative and powerful feature a developer can ask for isn't another library or another layer of abstraction. Maybe, just maybe, it's a return to simplicity.